Well, hello YouTube. So it's time for a reboot on the Ride-a-Matic. Looks a little different, doesn't it? Well, that's because that is the original Ride-a-Matic that I have yet to do a bunch of work on. This one I came across on eBay, complete with a mower deck in very good condition and a tiller. The seller claimed it had no spark. So a little bit of tweaking and replaced the points, which were slightly melted. It had stock ignition, just magneto. I was able to get it going, sort of. It was intermittent at most. Anyway, the fuel tank was kind of crusty. I replaced it with a fuel tank that I had previously rebuilt. A new carburetor from Amazon. It was about 13-14 bucks. A new muffler from Amazon with a new flange that I made and welded on, similar to the one that I did on the old muffler, because the K161 Kohler 7 horsepower that these have do not have a threaded block for the exhaust. So you must use a bolt-on muffler unless you want to thread the block, which I don't really want to do. New set of points and condenser, which have yet to have the cover installed. And I have upgraded it to an electric ignition. The starter generator works, the regulator works, everything seems to be operating. However, when I fired it up for the first time, I kicked on, and this is something that was missing on mine, which was the original PTO linkage, and it worked. The pulley was a bit wobbly and the mower deck had a lot of drag. Did a little bit more testing on it, did a little bit more evaluating of it, pulled the belts off. I started to clean the pulleys up because they were rusty and chewing the belts to shreds, as you can see on the starter belt. Why there was so much drag on the deck wasn't caused by the deck itself. How these tractors operate is that there is a jack shaft that runs right through the center there, and that is the PTO drive, at least for the mower deck, and anything that would be driven off of this side of the tractor. There is a separate pulley, accessory pulley right here, which is what would drive, say, the tiller, and it would have its own engagement lever. This shaft also serves as a bearing point for the drive pulley, and I had originally figured that the wobbling was due to this pulley being repaired in some point in the past. However, that was not the case. And further inspection, the bearing on, I keep wanting to say the passenger side, but it's a tractor, there's only one person on it. Anyway, this side, the bearing was shot, and had been for quite some time, to the point where, as you can see, this is the shaft out of this tractor. It's not in the greatest shape to begin with, but this is the side where the drive pulley sits on. This would be the main bearing surface on the opposite side of the tractor. This was the bearing surface on this side of the tractor. There was nothing left of the bearing. The only thing I could actually find, pulling it apart, this is what is left of one of the rollers. This is, well, minus the grass, that wasn't there to begin with, but that's what's left of the cage. And the race, the outer race, there is no inner race in these bearings. The inner race, or outer race I should say, has fused itself with the tube. What I'm planning on doing is pulling the shaft out of my Ride-a-Matic because I want to use this one to mow, primarily to mow and tow. The other one will be the working tractor, so it will not be, it'll have the tiller hooked up to it, it'll have any implements that I have, it'll have the plow on it. I'm not concerned about the PTO drive on that one, since the linkage is not existent, well, other than the one that I made, which never really worked too well. That one, I have on order a new piece of shaft that I will make a new shaft for that one that will primarily be to support the drive pulley. My problem is being that the outer race is fused in there, I can't put the new bearing in. I tried grinding at it, I tried sanding it, I tried going in with a Dremel tool, to no avail. Every tool, because it's a hardened race, every tool that I try to use on it just dulls or breaks. So I actually bought a set of silver Deming drill bits, again off Amazon, the cheapest ones I could find, something that's going to be a 1-inch bore, and I just went to town on it as best as I could, and I think I've actually made some progress, because I don't know if you could see that. I can get the pick under there just a little bit, so I'm going to keep picking at it and working at it, see if I can bend that up, break it off, whatever, be able to get in there somehow to be able to pull that outer race out and be able to get the new bearing in. So not much progress to speak of. I don't know if you can tell in there, but I just managed to pry a little bit of it up. 8 days, 13 hours, 27 minutes and 42 seconds later, I just about have it.